What? Hold on a second. What? What's up? Sorry, I'm a minute later than I'd like to be, even though I'd like to be exactly on time. Hey, everybody. Angie Power Disney, I'm here. I'm on time. Technically, I think within 5 minutes is on time. I started 6 minutes late. It was bad. Yeah, it was wrong. I took too long getting ready. I was getting some water, turn on the lights for later. What's going on with you guys? Like, what have you guys been doing? What did you do this weekend? Something fun? There's no football on, right? Super Bowl's coming up at the end of this week. Do you think it's fixed? People are saying the games are fixed. That they fixed it in favor of the Chiefs and Taylor Swift, basically. So, all right. So anyway, I've been good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I've been fine. Just hanging out, just chilling, basically. Doing my thing. Got news. Trump has continued to dominate. So you have news on that front. USAID or USAID apparently is being shut down, although the Congress says that they can't shut it down. So that's like a CIA front that funds like DEI initiatives all over the world. So I'll show you guys some stuff about that. What's up, Al Shizzle? What's up, Chrissy Tina? How are you guys doing? So I have that. I have the news. The headline I opened the show with, which is about Zelensky, who claims he hasn't gotten 100 billion of the dollars that we said we gave him. We said we gave him 177 billion. So I'm going to show you that clip. Don't know where that money could have possibly gone. Doge is much responsible for the shutdown of USAID. Doge, which kicked out Vivek Ramaswamy after he said Americans are lazy. I don't see how. Do you guys think Vivek can win in Ohio? He's going to try to be a politician. Like, I don't know if there's any coming back from what he said, but he's trying. But he got kicked out of Doge. There's an article about Doge's staff, which is a bunch of like 20-year-old autist computer programmers or something, that he's got calling people, asking them why they deserve to keep their jobs, etc. So you have that going on. Tariffs are in the news big time because they supposedly started on the 1st. And now, as of today, from the latest I heard, Mexico has negotiated a deal to put a pause on them until next month, for a month. Mexico did. So yeah, it was really like, once people realized that the tariffs were really going to happen, like the stock market really went down. Cryptocurrency just got totally annihilated. I mean, Bitcoin's still fine, but everything else, man, just got destroyed. The only thing that's doing great overall, just keeps going up, is gold. So, which should go up in an end of the world scenario. So yeah, gold is doing very well. So if you have some of that, silver is doing pretty well too. But gold's like all-time high, 2850 or something like that. So, but yeah, we tariffed Canada. Trudeau is going to tariff us back. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how the tariff thing is going to go. I think people were hoping, I think many economists were hoping that he wasn't really going to tariff anybody and that he was just using it as a negotiating tactic. So when the tariffs actually hit and then people started talking about a trade war, they say a trade war is the last thing before a real war. So I don't know. I don't know how people are going to feel about Trump and his tariffs. I mean, prices didn't really go up when he tariffed China last time, but 25% on our biggest trading partners. You would think people would actually have price increases. And then you would see if people are happy about it, if they still support tariffs when they have to pay more for stuff. But do you guys? He's it is a tax on us that makes things more expensive deliberately. Like it's designed to do that. So that then you buy American things, theoretically, like if we had the capacity to make those things. But yeah, we're getting into a weird scenario with the tariffs for sure. Because trade wars actually aren't good. So, and he's not really replacing taxes. The cool thing about tariffs, if it would be if you replaced regular taxes, that would be cool. And then it's cool that stuff's more expensive because you're bringing home a lot more money. Oh, DL, thanks. You got news? Canada caved also. Okay. Yeah, I'm not up to the latest on Twitter. So Canada caved also. So I think Trump, I don't know how Trump is for sure, but the markets were not doing well. They were down Friday, and then they were down today until Mexico announced that it was going to be paused. So people are hopeful that the tariffs aren't really going to happen. They'll negotiate with them. So I'll check on that. So they caved. Those people say, but it's just till next month for Mexico. So I got to see the latest. I'll search for it on X, I guess. So we're going to talk a little bit about USAID. Give you some clips about that. Oh, I mean, people already knew this, but Elon Musk, through his Doge research, found that USAID paid for the virus research, basically the virus research in Wuhan that made the virus that killed a bunch of people. So that's not comfortable for the government. That's why they didn't want it to get out that it was a lab leak, because then eventually people would find out that they were actually funding it. So that's kind of official news now. We are in an age of disclosure. And we're still waiting on the release of the JFK files, the RFK files, to see if anything's in there. And who knows? I mean, it'd be cool if he came out. He was like, the moon. I want to announce that the moon landing was fake, and the Mars rover is actually on Earth. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I have everything lined up. Not really. I'll just have to go through it. I'll just have to wing it. Oh, I have Christ may return in 2026. I don't like that we have to wait that long. Easter 2026, Christ is coming back. So I have a clip on that too. I have all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. You're going to be overwhelmed. Thanks for coming to my show. I appreciate you. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. Yeah, Yeah, that's the truth. What I said in that intro is totally true. Always, I think. Um, I see a tweet. I was looking up the news that Canada caved. People are claiming that Trump caved. Liberals. The first tweet I have is a liberal tweet that says Trump caved and postponed tariffs on Canada. I don't know how it's going to go. He cares about the stock market and stuff. That's the thing. It didn't look like people, it looked like it was causing chaos. But anyway, so yeah, tariffs are canceled. Bitcoin's back at 101. It was down to like 92 or something. Something crazy. Ethereum was, Solana was under 200. And stuff crashed. Dogecoin crashed. Now it's all coming back, I guess. So tariffs are off. We no announcement on China tariffs though, chat. You can tell me that too. You can give me the news if you want. We can do it backwards. You can tell me the news and I can look it up and read it and just say, "Oh, wow, this is amazing. Thank you." Any of those things. What was USAID? All right, so let's get together like USAID clips. There's one from him. Oh, yeah. Okay. I told you this. I'll just do this one first. Let's see. This is Elon Musk. He was on a Spaces last night, and he was talking about Doge. And here's where he talked about. He said that we funded the COVID virus, which is definitely an inconvenient truth for the government. Let's see.
It's pretty outrageous that COVID virus was developed in lab in Wuhan, and yet was funded by U.S. tax dollars, which was simply routed through this sort of fake nonprofit EcoHealth, because the government, U.S. government can't give directly to China, so they just gave to EcoHealth, knowing that it would go to China. So our U.S. tax dollars were used effectively to, in the end, kill Americans, which is insane. It's pretty outrageous that.
There you go. So yeah, that's a fact, or that's the truth. People have been saying that, but now it's like, it's more mainstream. We'll see if the news touches it. It must be hard being in the press room deciding what to ask Trump about. There are so many things going on. Oh, here's what he's. Nah, I can jump around. Let me tell you more about USAID. USAID, U.S. Agency for something development, international. Don't know. All right, here's RFK talking about USAID and how it was used to ignite the color revolution in Ukraine. Here you go.
There are riots, and it's called the Madon Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us, our government never told us. USAID, which is a CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say, we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy? Is that democracy when Victoria Nuland picks your government?
Well, that's the point. Is USAID doesn't really do. And the CIA don't do democracy. The CIA has overthrown, I think, 83 governments between 1947 and 1997. That's a third of the governments on Earth, and most of them were democracies. Oh, it doesn't do democracy.
There you go. So, yeah. You think we're done overthrowing countries? Are we? Well, yeah, we started the golden age, where we just threaten people, hopefully, and people believe us because it's Trump and he's crazy. No tariffs. Here's what Trump wants. Oh, what did I play? USAID? Oh, okay. I keep having to go back to the tariffs. Okay, here, let me play you some of the other stuff that was going on with USAID. Here we go. Here's the new press secretary talking about what they found.
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
There you go. So, Doge found out what they were spending their money on. Yeah, I can't imagine. So, Trump is trying to, and Doge they shut down its website, and they're basically trying to shut it down, but there's a question whether they can shut it down without Congress doing something. But I'm sure they give all their money to left-wing bullshit right now, so they should be disbanded. All right, so I got that. Oh, I have here, I have Dr. Paul asking somebody about USAID funding coronavirus research. I have that. So I'll play that for you.
Ms. Powers, did USAID fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
We did not fund gain of function
That's not
research,
the
as
question.
you know.
The question is, did you fund coronavirus research in Wuhan, China?
Before my time, there was the PREDICT program with which you're familiar, which ended in China in 2019.
This is a $200 million program, and the GAO has also identified that some of these grants went directly to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where there is a suspicion that the lab leak began the pandemic. Has USAID awarded funds to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences in China?
Not to my knowledge, but I'd have to get.
I think the answer is once again yes. GAO has found that there have been subawards of NIH money, as probably as well as USAID money, that went to the Academy of not just medical research, military medical research in China. Now, part of the unknowns here is we can't get the records to look at this. So I've been asking for months and months for records. In September of last year, I wrote Ms. Powers, USAID, a request asking for records from the PREDICT program. These are not classified. These are simply records of scientific research. And we want to read the grants to find out what they were doing and whether the research was dangerous or not. The response I got from your agency was USAID will not be providing any documents at this time. They're just unwilling to give documents on scientific grant proposal. We're paying for it. They're asking for $745 million more in money, and we get no response. So 2 weeks ago, the ranking member, Risch, myself, and 25 other Republican senators, unfortunately, so far, signed a letter once again. It's still no response. We're not asking for classified information. We're not asking for anything unusual. 20 million people died around the world. You're supposed to be an agency that cares about the death of people around the world. We, talk about starvation and famine, and 20 million people died from a virus, and you won't give us the basic information about what grants you're funding around the world and who you're funding. Should we be funding the Academy of Military Medical Research in China? They're now off limits. But did we fund them? And who was making the decision? You know who ran the PREDICT program? UC Davis. Have you had any conversations with UC Davis about research in China and whether it was advisable?
So again, to set the record straight, first of all, the PREDICT program ended in 2019. We have people.
And yet it goes on in other forums and other names.
That's certainly not USAID program.
Well, you have a program called Emergency Pandemic Threats Program still, don't you?
if I could just finish in response to the first set of allegations, we have provided hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents related to the PREDICT program for the very reason that you say, because we are in broad
Not to
agreement.
us.
We are, again, as I know you had an exchange with Secretary Blinken as well, consistent with longstanding practice,
Not going
we
to
have
give them
been
to us.
responsive to the committees of jurisdiction.
Not going
including-
to, you've been
including the
consistent
Senate.
in not giving us any
That's not
information.
true.
But
That
what you're
we've
saying
provided
is,
hundreds of pages in response to
To
the chair and
whom?
ranking.
to
To
whom?
the Senate, Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee, for example. We've had
We've
extensive
been requesting this and got none of it. I'm on that committee as well. The thing is what we get from you and from the State Department at large is that if Senator Menendez signs it, you'll give us documents. Until then, you'll give us nothing. And we have got nothing, zero. You said will not be providing any documents. I now have 25 senators have sent you a letter and you aren't responding. And we don't, we want to see the scientific grants. We give you the money, the taxpayers give you the money. We deserve to know where the money went, whether it happened. Look, you're right. It ended in 2019. When did the virus come about? In about 2019. Some of the research proposals that came about in 2018 were Wuhan Institute of Virology asking for money to create a virus with a furin cleavage site in it, a coronavirus, a SARS-like virus with a furin cleavage site. That's exactly what COVID turned out to be. They wanted money to create such a virus. So we want to know, are there other research proposals that you either granted or denied that were on the same veins of creating viruses that could have become COVID-19? We can't tell because you won't give us information.
Again, consistent with longstanding practice, we are providing extensive documentation. We have a whole
That's
team of
just
people who
not
do
true.
nothing other than
That's
look
just
back
not
at
true.
PREDICT.
That is not
It
true.
is factually accurate.
That is
It
not
is. The
true.
fact that-
Everything we have asked, we have not gotten. I have not seen one document on the PREDICT program.
I understand that, again, consistent with common practice
Consistent
across
that you're not going to give it
administration.
to any senator.
No, we're providing all of the kinds of documentation that you're
You are
describing.
not. You're
We
being
are.
dishonest.
We-
You're being
No, I'm
dishonest.
not. I'm
We haven't
absolutely
gotten
not.
one scrap of paper from you. Not one
Again,
scrap of
with
paper.
the committees of jurisdiction, we are providing all of the paperwork that
You are not.
requested by the
I'm on
chair
the
and
other
ranking.
committee. I'm the ranking member on the
Well-
other committee, and I haven't seen a scrap of paper from that committee either.
Well, that is,
See, here's what the
I can
American
tell you what has
people, the
happened.
American
Actually, I
people,
can't tell you what
the
happens at
American
the committee.
people think this, that because you won't respond and because you respond with a non-response, that you have something to hide. I don't know if you have anything to hide or not. I want to see every grant proposal that had to do with coronaviruses that went to China from the U.S. government, from all facets of the U.S. government, and every bit of the Biden administration is stonewalling us and will not give us the information. It makes us think and makes us suspicious that you're hiding something. And it wasn't even you. This was the previous administration. We go back 2 or 3 administrations. We just want to see the information. And yet you sit there and you say, we will do something. We are doing something, which is absolutely the opposite of the truth. You are not being honest.
There you go. He got her. So this was part of the problem, basically, is that USAID would not be transparent about what they were spending money on. And Elon's thugs came in. I say thugs, but his people came in and tried to access information about what they were spending money on, and they were physically denied. And then those people got removed from USAID. So USAID. So it's been pretty serious. I have like a whole description of USAID from Mike Benz. Is probably informative. So I'll play that for you. USAID.
So what is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development, not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building. It is local and regional capacity building done across the whole world, i.e. internationally. The primal id in USAID, international development, is about capacity building of assets that can be used by either the Pentagon, the State Department, or the CIA pay for their own activities. So if you're the Secretary of State and you were asked by the National Security Council or the president to do something in a different country, overthrow their government, stop the passage of a bill in a foreign country's legislature, how would you do that? And the first thing that I said is you would look at the assets that already exist in the country. Do we need new assets in addition to the ones that we currently have, or are the existing assets, can they achieve this simply by giving them enough money, giving them enough resources, giving them enough training, giving them enough support? One of the main ways that capacity building would be financed would be through USAID. USAID would say that it's doing something, funding a hospital system, funding universities, funding civil society organizations, funding media institutions, funding independent media in the region. Sorry, there's something in my eye. Independent media in the region on USAID payroll. And those institutions, those assets would then be bigger and more powerful and more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests. USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department, over $50 billion. It is a bigger budget than the CIA. The entire intelligence community only has about 72 billion. So that's the CIA plus the 16 others. And USAID has a bigger budget than the CIA and is almost the size of the entire intelligence community combined. That is how important USAID is to American statecraft. It is an intelligence community, a State Department, and a Pentagon assistance organization rolled into one. I just copied this from the USAID website. USAID carries out U.S. foreign policy, advances U.S. national interests by promoting broad-scale human progress. At the same time, it expands stable, free societies, creates markets and trade partners for the United States, and fosters goodwill abroad. The operative phrases here are carries out U.S. foreign policy. This is not charity work. This is not aid. This is cynical, self-serving purposes. And what is it seeking to do? Free societies, open societies. Why does USAID want other countries to be open societies? Because that's how you get the influence in. If a country is a closed society, they're closed off from USAID influence. We cannot capacity build our assets there. Closed societies box USAID out. China is a closed society. That is why we have not been able to topple the government of China, despite having tried for 100 years now almost. We have not been able to topple Putin from Russia. Why? Because Russia is a closed society. Like China, they kicked USAID out. It is not an open society. And so the USAID can't just take over their entire media ecosystem by funding 100 different media propaganda outlets in the region to sway hearts and minds. And remember, that's what this is. It's hearts and minds and cash. That's what soft power is. They call it hearts and minds work, but it's cash that does the moving of those hearts and minds, especially of the leaders of the movements.
See, we learn things on this show. So we have an educational video about USAID. Yeah, so people are talking shit about it. Chuck Schumer says he wants to save it. Elon says Chuck Schumer is getting money from him. That's why he wants to save it. So, but yeah, they're like CIA. They're just like a CIA front. And they work with Soros and stuff. And a bunch of people get money from them too. So USAID trying to shut it down. Like I said, I don't know if they can. Okay. And they revealed the thing about the virus. I have a good African leader talking about people who are complaining. The U.S. also cut out foreign aid, except to Israel. U.S. also cut off foreign aid. So a lot of people are complaining about that. This guy says, don't complain.
People the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bana. This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves? Instead of crying, to jiulize, what are we going to do? Haya ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things.
There you go. That's a very grown-up position to take. That's why we give people money, is then they depend on us. So, and then they can do what we say. So that's pretty much why we give people money. I see people in the chat saying, yeah, except Israel. Yeah, it was, we cut off all foreign aid payments, including to Ukraine, except to Israel and maybe somebody else too. I don't know, but definitely Israel. We're going to give them money forever. They need it. Otherwise, how do you expect them to defend themselves? For God's sake. Oh, I have stuff from the DNC. Democrats are insane. Somebody asked about drones. I don't really have an update on that. I have an image from Mars that I hadn't seen before. Okay, so tariffs have gotten canceled. There's a debate whether Trump caved or whether Canada and Mexico caved. So tariffs are delayed. They're delayed. So anyway, here's Trump talking about what Canada can do to avoid the tariffs. So here we go.
That he could agree to change your mind on the tariff?
Well, we can always, but look, what I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So I say, why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between $100 billion and $200 billion a year? We don't need them. As a state, it's different. As a state, it's much different. And there are no tariffs. So I'd love to see that. But some people say that would be a long shot. If people wanted to play the game right, it would be 100% certain that they'd become a state. But a lot of people don't like to play the game because they don't have a threshold of pain. And there would be some pain, but not a lot. The pain would be really there. So we're going to meet again.
So there you go. He's willing to admit there would be some pain. But yeah, make them the 51st state. They'd be a big state. I mean, I don't think there's that many people in the country, but that'd be a very large state. So I wonder if they'd accept that. And then they'd be pretty liberal politically. So Republicans might not necessarily support having the 51st state be this big liberal country. So, but maybe. So that's what he wanted. They didn't decide to become a state, though. Let me show you some stuff from this Democratic convention. Just to show you how crazy Democrats are. Then I'll play you the thing from Zelensky and stuff. I'll give you everything. All right, we'll give you some of the clips. So there's a Democratic convention to nominate, I think, who they want to be their leader. So anyway, I'll play you some of the clips from it. It's supposed to be funny. Let's see.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair. And I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hathaway. And
Doctor. So So that was one of the candidates. They have more. There's more clips. All right, hold on. Let me play you this one.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a Black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong Black women standing before you. 3 Black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Te quiero mucho, Papa. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
Look at this room, y'all. Truly take it in. This is the Democratic Party. We are our strongest when we stand together.
We are in a time in this country when our democracy and our rights are under attack. We're at a time where Black and brown people, women, and other minorities are being blamed for everything that's wrong with this country. So let's fight together for a stronger,
Wow.
and more inclusive
That person's got some balding.
Good afternoon, DNC.
Let me say something.
Why Kenya?
Over the last several days, we've seen what happens when we have the wrong people in powerful places. And so today, I ask for your support in electing me as your DNC vice chair, because in a time of crisis, leadership matters. My people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being the last one hired and the first one fired. We are sick and tired of the...
And I've spent the last 15 years fighting for the American people, all 340 million of them.
Work to do to organize, show up, and win. And that is why I'm asking the people who have stood with me in this ride, because you know the work that I do to protect the vote.
There you go. So that's a bunch of speeches from the Democratic National Committee. You'd see what they're focused on. Wow, it's like all I was just thinking like straight white guys, like there must not be any in the Democrat. I mean, here, yeah, they just must be unwelcome. It's a pretty tough situation to be in to win elections, when like you just don't welcome people. There are some on this stage. All right, check this out. I'll play you some more.
In this round. So I'm going to, I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all pass. In this round. So I'm going to...
They're still talking about racism and misogyny. How about get a candidate that is any color who can talk, doesn't get drunk and show up to things and embarrass herself? So, I had this one. Oh, yeah, here. They had like a gender problem. Let me play you that. They had some. They like quotas, so they have a gender issue that they have to clear up. So hold on, let me play that.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as one male and one female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have one officer of the three. So then we will know which position is filled of the one male, one female, and one vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the third position that is remaining based on the two results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
Takes him more time to explain it. And then I think they got confused. I don't know if he's saying there has to be a non-binary or something. Things must be balanced. We must achieve equity at all costs. Okay, then I think they argue about it. Let me see. They like their quotas. All right, let's see. This is them, I think, confused over the gender stuff. Apparently, I haven't seen this one, but it could be good. So I'm going to play it.
It's even on gender right now.
It's evenly split.
Yes.
So
I'm so sorry. Hi, Brad Tully, former parliamentarian for the city of Utah. I do have a question parliamentary for the chair, if she would. What happens? So that's assuming that that so few candidates get zero that we can sustain 6 additional losses on top of that. What happens if we have 8 candidates who get zero on this round? Do we have to eliminate those 6, or would they be eligible again on a subsequent round?
I don't know if this is as interesting. It was supposed to be a debate over the gender stuff. Okay. So anyway, yeah, that's the Democrats. They're still crazy. I don't know when they're going to win again. I have Zelensky saying he lost the money. Hold on one sec. Oh yeah, I can play that for you. Let's see. Let's play Zelensky saying he doesn't know where $100 billion is. Oops. Nope, didn't want to do that. Here.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177 або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо.
You see that?
Бо ми говоримо про конкретні...
He said we told him, everybody says that we gave him 177 billion. They've only gotten a little over 75 billion. He doesn't know where the other 100 billion exists. So there's $100 billion missed. That's another mystery that we can look forward to solving in this new age of disclosure. Okay, there's something on Mars. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is something that's on Mars. We have some kind of alien disclosure coming. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. And then, oh, yeah. And finally, I'll give you this. Signs of the apocalypse. This guy apparently says Jesus is coming back in a couple years. Oh, no, next year. That's not that long.
Exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
the star will, the alignment she told me about, that the star of Regulus would be on the horizon in front of the Sphinx. At that moment, there'd be a new knowledge. Well, I had no idea if this was even possible, but these astronomers run it through the machines, and it comes out that star is going to come up on the horizon in Easter of 2026. And from that point forward, they started remote viewing the state. Government did. And now you hear it all over TV. 2026, that's the big date. 2027, that year, something's going to happen. Armageddon, you hear it all over. You hear it on TV. If you study, I've heard even, well, I won't say names, but
please do.
Well, Lou Elizondo, right? Lou's mentioned that date. A lot of people have.
Easter 2026.
Well, the year 2026. I gave him the specific time. And it was with Robert Grant that I told him about this alignment and all. And then he's like, oh my God. He's been looking for this ruby, this little ruby you have to find and place it between the paws of the Sphinx to make this event that he knows is going to happen in 2026. I said, Robert, it's not a ruby, it's the star of Regulus. He looks like, he's like, oh my God, it's the king star. So what's going to happen, I don't know. But I think it's possible that's the return of
Christ.
Yeah. Or the lady and the whole heavenly host living with us, Jesus. That's the first time I've ever said that in my life publicly. You're the first.
Hey, thanks, tomfoolery. You're pointing out that nobody gave me super chats except for you, but that's great. You just gave me $13.99 Canadian, which was worth more before the tariff thing. I don't know if the Canadian dollar's completely come back. Thanks, man. Thanks, tomfoolery. I appreciate you. That's nice. I didn't even put out a goal or anything. But yeah, people can donate anytime they want. If you want to support the show, you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil anytime. After the show and stuff, you can leave a note there and I can read it. I always read it during the show. So you can leave a message there. You can also buy our shirts at Truth Revolution Clothing. That's truthclothing.io, where we're having a clearance sale. Some stuff is really cheap. I had got by a couple $5 t-shirts. So anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. That's the news for today. See where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's still at 101. So everything is going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Just be prepared for the end, to come soon. Be prepared for that because you never know. All right. Good seeing you guys. All right. Take care of yourselves. We'll try to be back tomorrow. Same time, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Lift the veil. For now, that's what it is. Let's see.